Good morning. Are you guys ready to start talking about assisted living? Let's do that again. Is everybody ready to move to assisted living? Just kidding. Okay, let's just find out about it. My name is Lori Sweeney. I'm the Administrator of Health Services. And right here is Lene Shea. She's the Assistant Living Manager. And so we're going to talk a little bit about assisted living and memory support today, okay? What is assisted living? We have levels of service between independent living and nursing care. We are licensed by the Virginia Department of Social Services. Has anybody been to assisted living yet? Toured? Who hasn't toured? You all need a tour, okay? And if you want to, you can call me, you can call Lene, Lisa Martin, Gwen, and just take a tour, or by yourselves take a tour, but just to kind of have a better idea of what it looks like. So it's over in the Hearthside building. It's the 3rd floor. Memory support is attached to the 3rd floor, 4th floor, and 5th floor. You get 3 meals a day. We're going to feed you over there. You also get snacks, and we have a nurse 24/7. We have 12-hour shifts, just similar to healthcare. So we have 12-hour shifts. We have a day shift nurse and a night shift nurse. What are activities of daily living, which you will hear us say ADLs? And these are our ADLs: bathing, dressing, toileting, transferring, ambulation, that's your walking, eating or your feeding, and your continence of your bowel and bladder. Levels of care in assisted living. Hi, welcome. We basically have 2 levels of care, and who determines that level of care is this nurse right here, Lene, so she's the bad person. Joke. Level 1 is you or the resident requires assistance with 1 ADL. So when she does your assessment and asks you a ton of questions, she figures or finds out what you need assistance with. And if you just need assistance with one of these things, you're level 1. Level 2, you require assistance with 2 or more ADLs. Oh goodness, sorry. So if you need assistance with 2 or more of these, you're a level 2. Lisa, will this be on the TV as well, these slides? Okay, so this will be aired and the slides will be on there as well.
I'd like to ask a little more about determination of memory support.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep talking about it. And you ask me questions as we go. And then there's memory support, okay? Memory support, resident is assessed by a physician as having a serious cognitive impairment due to a primary psychiatric diagnosis of dementia and being unable to recognize danger or protect his or her own safety and welfare. Just because you have a diagnosis of dementia or Alzheimer's does not mean you belong in memory support. There are tons of people in assisted living or in healthcare or some in independent living or in our community that have dementia. That doesn't mean that you belong in a locked unit. For memory support, those are people who are exit seeking. And it means that they are leaving with, they don't have a sense of purpose. They're leaving, they don't know where they're going, so it's not safe for them. So here's some information on memory support. Like I told you earlier, it's connected to the 3rd floor of the Hearthside building. It's, again, that's licensed by the Virginia Department of Social Services. It's 14 private rooms, and I will tell you, it's the one place that we have not renovated, and we are beginning to do that. So if you visit there, you're gonna see, I would probably say in the next 6 weeks, we're gonna start renovating, so we're gonna make that pretty. We have, of course, a licensed nurse always available. specially trained staff. We have 2 CNAs and med techs down there at all times. We have services to meet individual needs of each resident. We have a recreation partner down there who is specialized in dementia training. It's a secure unit with Project Lifesaver bracelets for added security. And you have freedom to move throughout the unit, and you can actually go outside as well. Assisted living admission. The goal is to determine the level of care that meets the resident's need, but in the least restrictive environment. So how do we get you in assisted living? Well, you have to want to come, first of all. We can't make you. So if you're in independent living and you feel like that it's time to make that move to assisted living, hopefully you've made it yourself. That's the most important thing. So you'll talk to maybe Lisa, or you'll come over and you'll talk to Lene, whoever you're comfortable with, and we'll sit down. And if Lene does the assessment with you, we'll show you a room where we feel like you would like. You look at the room. If we need to make renovations for you, we'll make them for you. We'll get you moved. The steps are, we'll do the UAI, which is the Uniformed Assessment Instrument. And that's just a tool that the Department of Social Services makes us do. And that's just our paperwork that we have to have on our end. It's really important for us to have, because yearly we have this inspector come in. We're due to have her come in anytime now, that we have to show her that we're doing. That's it. And just to let you know that everyone is different and all assessments are different. And so it could be a possibility that you come over and you're not ready for assisted living. And, you know, I've had families come and talk to me, and just to educate and have you tour, learn about assisted living, and we can have constant conversations about it. And when you're ready, we can make that next step, but don't feel like that we're going to push or make you. Here are some admission documentation that we need. Again, probably Andrea from the clinic can probably assist them with getting this documentation as well. And here are some frequently asked questions. Can I keep my own physician? Yes. Does anybody have an outside physician other than Dr. Lord? Okay. You can keep your doctor. Just because you move over to assisted living doesn't mean you have to change physicians. How long can I stay in assisted living? We can stay as long as you qualify. We have had people move actually to healthcare and improve enough to transition to assisted living, and then improve enough to go to independent living. That's happened just recently. There's 2 folks. Can I be involved in independent living activities? Absolutely. So you probably see assisted living and maybe some healthcare residents involved in independent living activities, or maybe in the cafe. So absolutely, just because you're over there in healthcare and assisted living doesn't mean that you're exiled. You're still involved in our community. And where do I eat? You eat in the Woods dining room, or you can eat in the cafe. And can I leave assisted living for long periods of time? Yes, we have people who go on vacations with their families. So you can drive too. Safely, hopefully. And then here is our contact information if you want to call us at any time. Questions? Project Lifesaver? Lena.
The Project Lifesaver is a little bracelet every memory support resident has to have. Pretty much, it's not like a GPS system, but it's somewhat of a tracker that uses these codes. We have an antenna that we use, so if you were to wander off a campus, you have a specific code to your bracelet, and we would use it to kind of track you. Lynchburg Police Department uses it, and they would come and help assist us in locating residents that have one on that are missing.
Independent living. Just holler out. ADL question. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's where we talk about everybody's different. Do you want to help answer that a little bit?
It all depends on what kind of assistance you need. If you want to wear buttons, but you need someone to do the buttons for you, that's physical assistance. If you choose not to wear buttons and you can put on your own shirt or pull up your own pants, then you're doing that yourself. You're independent. Now, some people use like a shoehorn. That's considered mechanical help. And I know there are some contraptions that help with buttons as well. That's also mechanical help. The only time it's assistance from the staff is if you need the staff to physically help you put on the item or pick out the items. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we administer all medicines to all residents. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's not considered an activity of daily living. It's an independent activity daily. Yeah. It's something that we are going to do. It's not, hey, we can do it for you or we can't. We're going to do it for every single resident. So it's offered to all of them. It's not something. What's the question? Mm-hmm.
It's just not considered an ADL.
Yeah.
It's technically, by definition, not considered an ADL. Not everybody takes a medication every day, but every day somebody does bathing, dressing, toileting, transfers, ambulation, eating, incontinence. I'm sorry, she's had her hand up.
I'm diabetic.
Oh, sorry.
If I move to assisted living, may I still continue to handle my own diabetes, or do you take that over?
We do all the medications and checking your blood sugars.
I don't like that.
Okay.
No, that's why I asked. That would, for me, resist me from going to assisted living, because I have all of those machines that do it, and I would think you would be taking away control of my body, and I don't like that.
I would say hold up on that, because when you're ready to move to assisted living, you don't know how much assistance you're going to need. So right now, you don't need assisted living, and you have that control to do all your diabetic equipment. But when you're ready to move to assisted living, you may not be able to. So when that time comes, we will make that assessment to determine if we feel that you're safe enough to do that. And if we feel that you're not safe enough to do that, unfortunately, that's our decision to make, whether or not you're able to do that. And if you're not in agreement to do that, then you will make the decision to stay in independent living or move to assisted living. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, always let somebody know when they have to sign out. So there's a sign out book, and that's in case of a fire, an emergency. You know, if there's a drill or something, and we're going to look for that resident and they're not there, then we're going to immediately go and see if they've signed out. And if they haven't signed out, then we're going to send out a search for that person. Please let somebody know and then have them sign out, yes. And also depending on the person, memory support, you can't do that. We might have to contact the family, or depending on the person in assisted living, we may have to contact the family first. So everybody's different. Yes, ma'am. You want to show?
Pretty much how you get up and down. How do you get out of the bed? How do you get out of a chair? How you transfer from sitting to standing, from laying to sitting. Just how you get up. Correct.
Y'all can fight for it.
Independent care and you find you're having trouble with medication, how do you get assistance if you're not ready to go into?
You can get home health, and home health can help you do that. So if you're having a hard time until you go to the clinic, Andrea can help you contact your doctor and have home health come in, and they can get like a carousel for you. But there's lots of options to keep you independent in your home and independent living. So assisted living isn't the answer for everything. We want to keep you independent as long as possible. You were.
I was looking at the extra charges that we all got a week or so ago.
I'm sorry.
$10 for medication. Does that mean if you're in assisted living, every time my husband gets his blood pressure medication, you add $10 to his monthly charge?
That's the clinic.
That's, no. Mm-mm.
That's the clinic?
I'm not sure what that charge is. Mm-mm. The only charge you'll get with medicines is from pharmacy. Mm-hmm.
I think that may have been tied to cataract medication, but it read as if it were all medication.
Oh, yes. In the clinic, if, because you know you have to do the drops every couple of hours, and a nurse has to come to you, it's just like a charge for having to have someone come and provide care. Mm-hmm.
We have to
Yep.
repeat the questions so the camera picks it up.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Oh. Cost from moving from independent to assisted. There's no cost. There's no cost. No. When you say cost, you mean physical, like physically moving your stuff? Oh, that depends on your contract. Okay, and actually, Lisa just said Melinda she has a time to talk? Okay, so Melinda's going to have that conversation. That really depends on your contract, depending on how much it is. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. No, we are certified by the Department of Social Services, and we call that our state. And they come in yearly and do our inspection, and they're our boss. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Yeah, we're following rules. Yeah, we're following, yes, absolutely. That's it? Well, that isn't our rule. That is, I mean, I will mention that to the Department of Social Services, but we didn't come up with this definition. So his question was, we need to reconsider and put medication as an activity of daily living, and we didn't make this definition up, but I wouldn't argue that. But it's not our list. It's something that we're following the rule from Department of Social Services. Taking your medications is very important. Yes, ma'am. Good question. So her question was, when do we decide when somebody moves from assisted living to health care? And that's just when somebody needs total care. And we take that individually, one person at a time, because we are now actually keeping more people in place and having hospice come into assisted living more. And we want people to age in place, so we are doing that more. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I knew you guys had more questions.
Can you have a private companion coming into assisted living as well as independent living?
So the question was, can you have a private companion come into assisted living? Yes. And we've had people that we were concerned about remaining in assisted living because they required so much care that to keep them in assisted living, they had companions or sitters, like 12 to 24 hours of care. So yes, you can. It has to be through an agency that we have, just for liability issues, but yes, you can. Somebody else had their hand up, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. So what she said was, I said it's y'all's decision when you move to assisted living. And what we really try to do is let that decision be yours and your family's. Very seldom do we force you guys to move. And Lisa, I'm not going to speak for you and your team. And I don't think we've had to do that very often. When it becomes extremely unsafe for somebody in independent living and we're worried about your health, that's when we will have to force. But we will have multiple conversations with you and your family if need be to get you to move. Unfortunately, sometimes a hospital stay happens before that, and we have seen that happen. But we would much rather prefer you make that decision yourself. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I'm going to say she beat y'all. This is a fun game. Good question. Do ADLs figure into the admission to memory support also? And that answer is yes. And I'll let her finish.
The assessment is the same of how many ADLs you do, but ultimately to be admitted to memory support, you are ambulatory and exit seeking. So yes, it's the same. We're going to look at your ADLs, but I mean, we do have people sometimes that are just exit seeking and they need no assistance with ADLs. But normally once you get further into dementia, you will need more assistance. So most of them are going to require something. Correct. They might just need reminders or cueing, help you pick out the outfit because they might not remember exactly which items they need to put on.
Cues for eating.
Yep. So a sitter needs to be someone that is licensed and they are insured for liability purposes. So if they're providing hands-on care, coming just to sit with someone to provide companionship is different, but actually needing some hands-on assistance is different as well. No, it can be a family member. It's just someone that provides care, hands-on assistance, needs to be licensed through a company.
Yes, ma'am. All the rooms in assisted living are single-person rooms. We do have suites where we have some couples living in the suites. And have you toured? I didn't know if your hand was up. Have you been in assisted living? Okay. Any other questions about assisted living or memory support? I would strongly encourage you guys to call and schedule a time to tour assisted living to give you a better idea of what it looks like. And then if we're actually giving you a tour, we can answer questions specifically. I think it really help instead of like this big type of setting. So please feel free to do that. Okay? Another question? You're trying to leave. You're going for that exit. But the problem is you don't know where you're going or what you're going to do. That's what exit seeking is. Zero sense of purpose. You're just going. Yes, ma'am. So her question is, I'm assuming y'all are married? Okay. So when somebody is married, when one needs assistance and needs to move over, what happens with the other spouse? It's all different scenarios. So we've seen the spouse move over to assisted living, the wife move to assisted living, and the husband stay in independent living. We've seen both of them go to independent living, assisted living together, even though the husband didn't need it. But also looking at your contract. But that is working with the team and us deciding and helping you all make that decision. So yeah, we don't want to separate you, but I'll tell you, some couples want to be separated, okay? So, we'll work with you. All right, I will bring up Megan, and she'll talk about recreation and assisted living, but we're not going to go anywhere because I don't believe that you do not have any more questions.
All right, good morning. Can everybody hear me? I'm Megan. I'm from Recreation. I'm the lead recreation coordinator. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about memory support activities and assisted living activities. If you were to go to memory support, you will see Scott, which I'm sure most of y'all know Scott. He's been here quite some time. And he is full-time in memory support. So what to expect when you arrive. So at first we do an assessment to assess your leisure interests, your leisure needs, and we do try to cater to that when planning our programming, which you see our calendar. We are required to provide 20 hours of programming a week in assisted living. That's memory support 20 hours and assisted living 20 hours. And Scott and I provide that. You're also given a calendar, an in-room calendar to list all the activities for the month. Programming every day. Scott is in the unit Monday through Friday, and then we provide additional programming on the weekends. We engage with you. We're spending a lot of time with you. If we're not doing programming, we might be helping you do a puzzle. We might be just watching TV with you. There's always someone there to hang out with you. And of course, fun. We are the fun ones. What is offered? Physical, cognitive, social, emotional, spiritual, community engagement. Just because you're memory support does not mean you do not get to go out to eat. You're offered all the same programming that assisted living and healthcare is offered. We are with you every step of the way, but it is offered. There's exercise, there's bingo, there's cooking groups, there are socials. Almost every single day they are brought at least out of the unit to the mezzanine to socialize with everybody else in assisted living and healthcare. So you're well socialized, you're allowed to have visitors. In spiritual, we have a church service every Wednesday with William, and memory support does come to that church service. And community engagement, volunteer. We have a volunteer project every month, and they are also invited to do that project. Again, Scott is your contact for memory support. This is his phone number if you were to ever have any questions. Again, you can tour memory support. Most Monday through Friday, there's an activity going on during the day, so you can kind of see what that would look like. We have questions for memory support. No.
Probably Lindsay Camden, or you can contact me or Lynne, and you will receive this PowerPoint. Lisa, we decided that that was going to be on the television as well, or look in your directory. So if you want to tour, just call me. I'll get it set up for you. Lori Sweeney. Me.
Scott is just your contact for activities. We'll be happy to help you, but his main priority is activities and memory support. Any questions for memory support activities before I move on to assisted living? Okay, assisted living. Same concept, but you'll be dealing with me primarily. I run all the programs in assisted living. So same thing when you get there. I also do an assessment to assess your leisure needs, your interest. If you have a suggestion of things you want to do, very rarely do we have to say no. You want to go somewhere, you want to do something, you want to come up with your own program, we most of the time can do it. You're also receiving a calendar is usually in your hall on the 3 different floors, 3, 4, or 5. And then I also provide a weekly calendar that I give out every Monday morning, 9 a.m. to your mailbox, and you can keep up with what's going on during the week. There's puzzles, there's riddles, everything is in there. How to sign up if we're going on an outing, how to sign up for anything that we're doing, luncheon, stuff like that. And programming and fun. We're also required, again, to have 20 hours of programming a week in assisted living, and I provide that Monday through Friday. And then we have additional programming on the weekends. Yeah, we've got some pictures of our assisted living residents enjoying some of our activities, the same activities that are happening in memory support, physical, cognitive, spiritual, emotional, social, and community engagement as well. Individual programming, like I said, you have an idea, we try to make it happen. We also provide room visits, snack carts, library carts, socials, parties. You're invited to it all. And these are just some testimonials from some of our residents that have spent a lot of time with me. We have definitely regulars that attend all programming, but if you want to pick and choose what you want to come to, that's fine. I typically, once I get to know you, I will stop by your room, invite you to the activity. If I know you don't like that activity, I'm not going to stop by your room and invite you because I don't want to bug you. You get enough of that. And I'm the contact for assisted living activities. There's my phone number if you're ever to need anything. Do y'all have any questions for activities in assisted living? Sure. I'm going to let Lori handle that one. Let her be the bad guy.
Hi. Yeah, no more animals in assisted living. We did have animals in assisted living, and then we found out that when you come over, typically you need assistance, more assistance than what you think sometimes, and you're unable to take care of the cat. So just a couple of stories. We completely renovated an apartment where the cat defecated and the hair ruined the apartment. The gentleman couldn't take care of the cat. So I think the pet committee from Independent Living helped rehome that cat. Thank you, pet committee. And then another one, it just comes to a point where they can't clean the cat litter. You have to, per regulations, when my inspector comes in, I have to show that the cats had their shots. We were actually having to take the cats sometimes to the vet. And then hunt down the families who were sometimes out of state, and I'm fronting and I'm paying for the cat to get their shots. I don't mind doing that, and I want my residents to have their animals because I have my lab, that I can't bring my lab. It was just tough. So we have just talked about it, and it was just tough. So we've kind of stopped the pets. Not an easy decision. So, sorry.
We do offer pet visits. We have people with animals to come by and visit you. So if you want that, that's another thing that we do and we can help you with. That's not a problem at all. Any other questions for activities? All right. Thank you.
Any more questions for anyone? All right, next week, same time, same place, long-term nursing care. Thank you.